Hi, my name is Bruce Johnston, City Manager of the City of Guthrie, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the City Manager Spotlight. Today I welcome Heady Coleman, Director of the Guthrie Chamber of Commerce, and I think more than anything else, I want to welcome you to the Spotlight and welcome you to your position as Director of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Because I have become the City Manager of Guthrie in a parallel time frame.
Yes.
That you have for the Director of the Chamber of Commerce. And first and foremost, I'd like for you to just tell everybody about kind of what's going on with the Chamber of Commerce over the last 2 months under your direction.
Yeah, so we've been able to make some great strides. Less than 90 days I've been in the role, and so we've made some adjustments to really kind of get us headed in the right direction. And so our team, our board has been very supportive in making sure those things happen. We've got some quality volunteers over there who have been very supportive in the changes that have been made, and so we want to continue to go head in the right direction.
All right, and I also know that before I came to Guthrie, I was following you on Instagram.
Yes.
And was a big fan of you. You, along with my wife, are the two greatest people of hashtag use in the world. I know that using 21st century technology to spread the word about what's going on both with the City of Guthrie is something I want to accomplish. Yeah. I know that's something that you've been already successful at with Guthrie America. Yes. And I'd just like to know a little bit about what you're going to do with that to bring people to Guthrie through the Chamber of Commerce and using the 21st century technology that we have out there that's in everybody's hands we stare at on a daily basis.
Yes, yes. So it's key, right? I think with social media, it allows us to reach a greater audience a lot quicker. But in doing that, one of the things that I like to see is us continue to tell the story of Guthrie, especially as far as our business community goes as being the chamber. It also allows for us to be able to encourage our community because it's not always easy, right? When you start talking about living together and being a community, so we want to be able to encourage. We also want to utilize it to educate our business community as far as just small business tips and things of that nature in order for them to be able to take those things and grow their businesses. And so, and then just the hashtags is just a great way for when people are searching for things, we're one of the first ones to pop up. So when people are thinking about coming out to Guthrie to tour or eat lunch and things like that, those hashtags allows for people to find us a lot quicker when they search.
That's awesome. And I know over the last couple of months that you've been in your position, I've been in my position, that we have helped served on each other's boards. You've
Yes.
been on the Convention and Visitor Bureau board. And I'm now an ex officio member for the Chamber of Commerce. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about what you see in that relationship between the City of Guthrie and the Guthrie Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, I think for one, I like to say that there's 4 key areas in community, and I think the city, the chamber, schools, and then just local nonprofits and organizations. I'm a big advocate for Guthrie. I'm always pushing it, and people are always calling me and saying, okay, why should I move to Guthrie? And then once I tell them, then they're like, well, what are the schools like? What is it? What are small businesses? How successful are they? And so I love just to be able to say that these are the areas that we're focusing on, and we are growing them, and we're being intentional about working together side by side because we know great things come out of working together as a team. They say teamwork makes the dream work.
I love it. And I know that in order for teamwork to succeed in Guthrie, and I always like to educate our populace, is that the City of Guthrie, like many other communities in the state of Oklahoma, like all other communities in the state of Oklahoma, are really ran by sales tax. The state doesn't allow for communities to have a ad valorem tax. Therefore, each and every service and program that the City of Guthrie provides comes from a sales tax, yeah, other than some additional fees that we may have in some miscellaneous areas. But in order for sales tax to grow and for us to provide additional services and programs and help out the quality of life in the community, we have to have a strong tax base. And that strong tax base comes from businesses. Yes. And I know the Chamber of Commerce is derived as from just the businesses in our community, in our area. And could you tell me a little bit about what potential you see from the Chamber of Commerce going forward to help us all realize our potential of the City of Guthrie?
Yeah, again, I think us coming together as a community, I like to call our members investors, because whenever they come and say, hey, I want to be a member of the Chamber, really what they're doing is investing in this thing of us coming together as a business association in order to do greater things, because you can't do it by yourself, right? So So again, we just talked about teamwork. So now all these businesses come together and investing into what this great brand called the Chamber. Now what this allows us to do is, one, creates opportunity for them to network, to get to know each other so they can better work together in this, especially a smaller community like this. It's really important that we count on the same page. It's really important. It's big time. And then another thing that we want to be able to do out of the Chamber is continue to educate them in order for them to become greater at what they do. And then because then they become a better business, that means more sales tax, and that means better growth for Guthrie, for education and streets and sidewalks and all of those things come out of our businesses being more successful. And we just all need to continue to come together and allow them to invest in this brand called the Chamber so we can all work together. And so we want to continue to move forward in that direction.
That's good. And I also know that at the last Chamber of Commerce board meeting that you guys were having a retreat coming up here in the not too distant future. Could you fill us in a little bit about some of the topics and some ideas that you guys might be discussing here, and where you kind of see the Chamber going forward from that?
Well, I am super excited about our board retreat because this will be my first one. And I feel like I'm less than 90 days in. This is going to be a great way for me to make sure that I am going in the direction of what my board would like for us to do as a chamber. But some of the things that I know that we'll talk about is our educational series for 2016. And what does that look like? And what's going to be the best classes, lunchings, and things of that nature that will allow for our business to grow. We'll also talk about the different committees that we want to have. And I like to call them teams versus committees. But we're going to talk about our education and workforce team, and that's going to be a group of people who strictly focuses on that. And some of the things that we're looking at is possibly putting a business with each classroom to support that classroom, because now the greater the education, and then also workforce, informing our high school students about the opportunities that they have right here in our community so we can keep them here. I have children in school, Guthrie Public Schools, and I want to see them staying right here. But if they have other opportunities, yes, take them, look at them. But at the end of the day, I want them to be able to say, you know what? This is a great community. This is on my list. This is on my list to stay. And so we're also talking about legislative committee or team, community development team, a leadership Guthrie. Because with those leadership Guthrie, these are some of the things we want to talk about at the board retreat. Because leadership Guthrie now says, when you take these people through this leadership Guthrie, now they have more invested in our community. They have more invested. So now they're going to buy gas here. They're going to shop here and things of that nature. And they're going to lead here. And so we're super excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know that it's always been my goal in economic development to make sure that anybody who has graduates from Guthrie that goes off and gets their degree has the ability to come back and live in Guthrie and have the same childhood experience that they had. And we can only do that by either providing them the quality of job that they want, or creating the atmosphere for them to create the job that they want and desire in order to continue to grow the community. And I think that with your leadership at the Chamber of Commerce, I think then the energy that you're bringing and the vision that you guys have at the Chamber of Commerce right now, that we can do that and provide that that opportunity for everybody who comes through Guthrie Public Schools to come back and enjoy not only GPS but also the city of Guthrie, and hopefully create a business and become a member of the Chamber of Commerce. At the end of the day, I know that I don't do quite as good a job of the Chamber Chat as Heady Coleman does, but I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and I'd like to thank Heady Coleman for coming up and sharing his ideas about the Guthrie Chamber of Commerce. And we'll see you again next time on the City Manager Spotlight.
Community wins. There we go.
First question I have for you, Dr. Simpson, is that as a city manager who's 2 months in on the job, but a native of Oklahoma and someone that has gone through the Oklahoma public school system, could you just kind of give me an overview of the Guthrie Public Schools?
Well, we are the largest employer in Loudoun County. We have about 3,600 students on any given day. We run the largest restaurant in town, called the high school, or called the cafeteria. We have about 30 buses that clog up the streets of Guthrie every morning and every afternoon, much to the dismay of some of the drivers. But we have students that are highly engaged and very successful as they leave here, either in a technical world or in the college when they go off to college too. When I got into education, I wanted to make a difference, and it's easy to do that when you're teaching you see the kids every day, but when you get into administration, and you kind of know this too, you have your hands on so many different things. You don't know what's going on, but the best time in Guthrie Public Schools, there's two of them. One of them's coming up pretty soon. It's homecoming, and you got to come see the homecoming all day. And we'll shut down the street in Oklahoma Avenue. We'll have the huge parade and everything. And then the other thing, of course, is graduation. When you see the kids, the culmination of what they've done over their body of work in education, and as they go forward, and it's a special night for them. So that's what we're about. We've got about 425 employees, and about 235 teachers, and then the rest support staff that make. And they'll start their day about 5:45 every morning, and some of them are working after 10 o'clock at night. So we're almost a 24/7 operation.
That's good. And I know that I've been out with you at several different events, including chamber coffees, and so I get to ask the question that you get asked every time I've been around you in a social setting this far, to this point in time, is where are we at in the bond issue?
Well, we're getting ready. We actually have a meeting starting very soon to get ready on the roof projects. We have 3 elementary schools that need roofs, and then we're going to start planning in not too distant future for a new elementary school, which will be located in the southern portion of our school district. And we're going to try and take the school to where the kids are living of our areas of greatest growth. But we've got to maintain the buildings that we have right now. And so we expect to have those roofs done hopefully by the end of this calendar year, and then start work on some other things next summer with Central Elementary, which is one of our oldest elementary schools. And the building's in good shape. It's been well maintained, but we need to do a little work to it.
Excellent. And looking into the future, is there going to be any additional buildings added to our school district in the upcoming years?
Well, the elementary school that we passed the bond issue for, we'll start on that and should be in that hopefully within 3 years. It'll be about an 18 to 24 month process, and we'll start construction in about 16 months or so when we get the money and start the full planning. The rest of the bond issue that we have, that we passed this last May, will do the work that we talked about on the elementaries, and then also start the first phase of renovation of our junior high, which is also one of our older buildings. It's the original high school. It's a beautiful building on the outside, but it needs a lot of work inside, and it still needs TLC on the outside as well. And so we're going to start taking care of that. But before we started all this, we did a study that said it was going to be less expensive to fix that building up than to try to replicate all the services that building offers our students and our community, because it's a fairly good sized auditorium and a gymnasium. It was more cost effective to renovate that building than it would be to build new.
Okay. Excellent. And I know that also going on the Guthrie Public Schools website, I was reading your guys' mission statements, and I love that you guys have in your mission statement on the very first line about creating solid citizens. And I know as a father of 2 daughters that are the age of 9 and 6, people ask me kind of my thoughts on what I want to see them when they grow up. And I always tell people that first and foremost, I don't want them to be knuckleheads. And they're going to be people who contribute to society instead of people who take away from society. And I love the fact that you guys have it directly stated that you guys want to create solid citizens. And could you guys tell us a little bit more about Guthrie Public Schools and their mission statement and their philosophy about the education of our children? It's
funny that you bring that up, because one of the things that has helped greatly with us being able to do that is the partnership we have with the City of Guthrie with our school resource officers. We want students to understand that life is more than books. It's also getting along and working with others. One of the things that I'm probably most proud of that is unique, in my opinion, to our student body is that we have students that care so much about their fellow student. They'll raise money at a crazy rate. And one of the things that United Week, what they did, and we finally got to get it open just actually today, we have a special needs playground. And the biggest amount of money that was raised to fund that playground was from our students in United Week. And it was a sizable amount of money. It was around $15,000. That's kids caring about their fellow student. That's part of character development. That's good stuff. You know, that's the things that I'm probably most proud of with our student body. When you watch how they support their fellow students in whatever they're doing, it's special, and it's more than just the typical small town support. It's sincere. It's from the heart, and it doesn't end with one class or the other class. I mean, it's there in progression. So it's a special place.
That's awesome. And I know also when I was doing my research on the Guthrie Public School District, you guys did one thing that was different than when I grew up in Tahlequah, is that in Tahlequah we had our athletic website, had a listing of our state championships in different arenas when it comes to baseball, softball, soccer, football, whatever it may be. But you guys did something different here that I'd seen done in other communities I've been to this point in time, is you guys actually had a listing of your academic state championship teams. And I love the fact that you guys have stressed academics along with being just an athlete at the school. So that means to me that you guys consider academics first and foremost of a priority. And what do you guys consider on your academic side of helping get people prepared to move on to a higher education system?
Well, you know, the thing that in education now, the focus has been on testing. And I think that's somewhat unfortunate. But okay, give me the rules, and I'll figure out how to play the game. Well, the thing that I'm probably proudest of right now of where we sit as a district is, while the state average on the ACT has dropped, we have promoted our students taking the ACT. We have more students taking the ACT, and we've actually brought our average up. And you know, you think about, if you have more students taking it, you're going to have the kids that we know are college bound, they're going to have a good ACT score, and they're going to take the test. The ones that we're nudging that are on the edge to take it are the ones that have the potential for having maybe a lower score. With adding the numbers of students that have taken it, we have raised our average ACT score. That's hard to do, and that, you know, there's nowhere to hide on the ACT. I mean, you know, you and I probably, I mean, I can still kind of remember taking it. It's been a long time ago, but there's nowhere to hide. And it is a true reflection of your college readiness, and we're getting more kids taking it, and the scores are going up. And that speaks volumes for what we're doing as a staff and as a school district.
And I know that in order to have a strong economic development arm of any city, we have to have a strong public school system. The first question out of anybody who is willing to either expand or to grow a business in a community, ask how our school district is going to do. And I want you to be able to convey to our audience here today what type of strains that you guys have as a school district in the way that you guys are funded because of what's happening with oil and natural gas prices.
Well, we stand to lose about $800,000 this year out of a $23 million budget. That's the reality of it. We have had to trim teaching positions in order to meet our budget figures. With the constriction of the oil and gas industry right now, and there are a lot of families that are affected by it, you know, with their monthly paycheck. But we're affected by it as well. The loss of tax dollars. You know, cities are funded by sales tax. We all know that. The property tax, if people move out of Logan County, that hurts the schools. The schools are funded mostly through property tax. So that has, if you were to ask me what keeps me up at night, that's probably the main thing, is how do we continue the momentum that we've started, the great morale that we currently have in our school district, and balance that with the impending budget issues that we're faced with. And you know, I don't have a magic potion for it yet, but we're going to work. We work at it a little bit every day, and we're going to continue to do so. And hopefully, some of this economy will turn around quickly, so that our students are not affected. Because that's what I care about the most. Is I don't want our students to be affected.
And I agree completely, is that, and I always tell everybody that's in the community, whatever they can do to help support the school district, they're directly supporting the city of Guthrie, because at the end of the day, in order to grow our economy and provide a higher quality of life, we need to have a strong public school system. We need to have a strong public school district, and whatever we can do to support you, Dr. Simpson, we want to do that, and I want to let everyone to know that they need to go out there and support our school district in whatever fashions that the school board and yourself see fit. But with that being said, looking forward, I just want to bring it back to a little bit less of a truncated time period, and what are some of the highlights that we can see in this upcoming school year?
Well, we've got obviously having some construction going on is something that hasn't happened in this district in a while, so that's exciting. Watching, we've got a tremendous tradition in football, and you know, we kind of off to a little bit of a rough start, but watching those kids as they improve there, and our softball team, watching our band and vocal, you know, those kids are amazing, and the work that they do, and then going out and seeing, I like to walk through the elementary schools and see the young kids and the you know, the energy they have in their face. It's kind of like Heady Coleman almost, but a smaller version. And you know, when you go through seeing all of that, and then watching our staff as they have the best attitude I've ever seen since I've been at Guthrie. This has been the greatest start. I'm so excited about this year because we are on the verge of doing some great things.
That's awesome. And I would tell everyone out there too to go out there and support all of the activities that are going on in the Guthrie Public School District. And I think you mentioned them like we were talking about, whether it's choir, whether it's band, whether it's softball, whether it's football, whether we're coming up on the spring sports after the turn of the semester and the break for all of our different holidays that are going on. But encourage everyone to come out and continue to support our public school district. And I'd like to thank Dr. Simpson for being here today on the City Manager Spotlight, and we hope that you guys have nothing but continued success for not only this upcoming school year, but for many decades to come.
Thanks for your support, Bruce. Appreciate you in the city of Guthrie.
All right, thank you.